Then we get a classic Seagal scene that only exists to tell the audience what a hot piece of ass Seagal is.
Still wearing the Rolex.
I got this from the finest girl I ever had.
From me.
It was you.
We're supposed to believe a woman in her 20s is dropping 30 grand just to get in Seagal's pants. You're a fucking lunatic.
You know me.
So he recruits her.
We need one more person to complete our three-man team.
What? No, one more person would only give you 2.
So what do you need me for?
Watch my 6 and do what you do best.
Which turns out to be literally nothing except getting kidnapped. So she joins the team, and now you can say it.
We need one more person to complete our three-man team.
They decide they need a drone specialist and go about recruiting one the most ridiculous way possible.
See, that's what it's about.
They set up a meeting on a back road, and for some reason, she arms herself with a submachine gun. A drone then flies in with a rifle that is literally just zip-tied to it. It somehow is able to pull the trigger and shoots the shit out of her car. What was the point of that? She's not even mad that he blew up her fucking car.
Okay, that got my attention.
By the way, she can afford a Rolex for her boy toy, yet this is the car she drives. She couldn't even afford to fucking register it. Whatever.
Had to be done.
With this tornado retreating deeper into the hail core, I decided to bail and make a run for the new tornado. But it didn't take long for the storm to dump on those plans.
Inflow. This is all the storm pulling in all this dust, so that means it could tornado again. Not going to be easy to see when you can only see 30 yards in front of you. Very. Okay. So there's a tornado in there. Tumbleweed. Man, what a mean storm today. There was just jets of dust streaming in and you couldn't see, and there was hail crashing out and you couldn't see, and there was tumbleweed stampedes, and there was lightning, and I was able to get right in that sweet spot and see a nasty, big old brown tornado. To celebrate, we're having sriracha tuna on saltine crackers with half the sodium. And for dessert, we're going all out and having a big old can of pineapple. I almost didn't even come out today. I woke up at 5 a.m. and I did a forecast and I thought, ain't nothing gonna happen. And then I thought, what the heck, it's May. And out here in May, magic happens. Nasty, brown burrito magic.
Bye.
Hey race fans, this is Chet Christner with your Comp Cam's top 5 moments on flow racing from this past week.
Problems in turns 1 and 2 and the red flag will come out.
For our number 5, we visit the fabulous Lincoln Speedway where Kyle Denmeyer racks up some serious style points in a half pipe in turn 1, and I got to tell you, I didn't even know they had a half pipe in turn 1 until Denmeyer dropped in. Or off, as the case may be. Oddly enough, no one else wanted a piece of it after they saw that dismount. Later in 410 heat race action, final 2 corners, and Chase Dietz powers past Kyle Moody, clips the tail tank of Conklin, and sends himself into a pirouette of power as he simply throttles up and tries to get back to the line for a transfer spot. Unfortunately, the caution flag had come out. Later in 410 feature event action, 8th starting Freddie Raymer Jr. would eventually run down race leader Alan Crimes and tiptoe the top shelf to pick up the lead and eventually the win on Fallen Firefighters Night.
Well, he's about to add a feature victory to his resume if he can keep his foot in it, and he does! Corey Day wins at Circle City Raceway.
In a midweek filled with top 5 potentials, we'll go to the newly minted Circle City Raceway for our number 4. Corey Day is up front feeling pressure from another young gun, Emerson Axum, when Axum slips to the inside and snatches the lead into 3. Day yards it back down low, slides back to the point, and takes the bit in his teeth and heads for the barn. Final lap, final corners, and Corey catches the rumbly-stumbly into 3, kicking off an oscillation of Fortunately, Day recovers and becomes the youngest ever USAC National Midget Feature winner at the ripe old age of 15 years, 6 months, and 12 days. Just 3 nights later, Pengrove, California's Buddy Kofoid would pick up the Indiana Midget Week title.
We know M193 will shoot through steel armor with a 20-inch gun only. Now I got my awesome little 7.5-inch Bear Creek with this really pretty purple with the silver sparkles. I love this upper. Really, really love that upper. And we screwed the plate to the board so it won't fall through those M193 holes. Yeah. Which was actually really funny. And we're going to dump 10 rounds into it.
Cool.
Did I mention that was a side charger?
Yeah, now you did.
Oh my gosh. That was fun.
You like that gun?
Let's go check it out.
All right.
I think I hit all in the same spot pretty much, but...
Yeah.
The strange story of Hitler's Arab and black soldiers begins not in Europe but in Iraq in April 1941, when some pro-German Iraqi officers overthrew the pro-British royal regime. Hoping to foment a wider revolt against the British in Iraq, the new government invited German and Italian forces into the country, particularly German Luftwaffe aircraft. The British could not permit such a threat to develop in Iraq. The go-between helping the rebels was the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Amin al-Husseini, who had been on the run from the British for years. The Grand Mufti was the Sunni Muslim cleric in charge of Jerusalem's Islamic holy places, and a very important figure among Arab nationalists. In May 1941, the British invaded Iraq and defeated the rebels. The Grand Mufti and many Arab sympathizers managed to reach Europe. In Greece, the Germans started to raise German Arab units.
This Airbus A330 has just taken off and the pilots are facing a huge problem. None of their airspeed indicators are working properly, and now they are going to have to try to figure out how to fly this giant aircraft and land it without them. What has led up to this situation is an absolutely incredible story, so stay tuned. This is why we tend to have at least 3 different pitot probes on every commercial aircraft, so that we have 3 independent sources of airspeed if we would need to. There were some studies made about how quickly a mud wasp would start to infest a pitot probe if they were around and it was available, and they found that it could take as little as 20 minutes from when an aircraft stopped at the gate before one of these mud wasps would be there and start to look at furniture to move in. And because of that, between the years of 2015 and 2018, which is when this incident happened, the authorities in Brisbane Airport realized that they couldn't get rid of the mud wasps. The infestation was too far along. So instead, they started sending out these warning letters to operators that was operating into the airport, telling them that if they were planning to have a long turnaround on the ground or an overnight stay, that they needed to start putting these pitoprobe covers on top of their pitoprobes.
We're going to hop in to the start of the tornado. Now, according to the National Weather Service, it started around here, but this was like your funnel cloud stage of the tornado. It was kind of, starting to come down, going back up, going back down. It didn't do really anything until we get to about right here. Now, we have satellite imagery data of the day after the tornado. So this happened on May 20th, and this satellite data is from May 21st, 2013. By the way, I'm using Google Earth Pro. You can download it. Click this button right here and look at it yourself. Okay, so the tornado touched down and started doing real damage at Long Drive and North Country Club Road. So around here. And if we zoom in, that's what we see. We can go over here and we can see some toppled trees that are knocked over. This fence is destroyed right through here. This building obviously is it's been damaged. There's some sheet metal throughout. But this was EF1, by the way. This was an EF1 level tornado, but it really didn't get strong until about right here. And this is when it went straight up to EF4 levels. So we had these houses right here. Obviously, these houses are completely knocked over. This area right here looks like they were building a new house, because if we go back a year, this is a new development. There are no houses, and then we go and there are destroyed houses. So unfortunately, these houses did not have a long lifespan. However, we got some people that have showed up to help out. And this one right here, looks like this one was completely fine, but this one was completely destroyed. We have some tarp on some of these roofs. I think they're trying to protect some of the stuff from the rain at this point. But you see the path going right through here. Got quite a bit of damage. This is EF4, EF3 level. As it started going down a little bit, and you can really see the path right through here. Very clear, dark green, and then just cuts right through here.